The interesting thing about this adventure, though, is they didn't stick to it, Sybilla. They went 1-10, and things got weird. It almost felt like they thought they were going to get fired because Chip Kelly had gotten fired, Jim Thomas. So there was a streak. And if you didn't do that well.
I believe Jed York when he said, I'm going to make things right. I'm going to get it right. I never felt Shanahan was in danger. I actually believed York when he said, we're going to come up with a long-term plan and we're going to stick with it. Remember that? I believe that.
And I don't know if they believed it because
no, of course not. You can't go into your job just assuming I can be here as long as I want and I'll believe everything my boss tells me. No one watching this show, certainly not me. I never believe anything unless it's in writing.
Right. Because the plan was, let's take our lumps in 2017 and then get Kirk Cousins in 2018. Well, they took lumps. They were 1-10. It was bad. It was going very, very bad. Or I think they were 0-8 at the trade deadline.
Yeah, they were. Yep.
0-8. And instead of like, okay, let's stick to the plan. This is the plan. They got a call from the Patriots that they may not have been prepared for with an offer of Jimmy Garoppolo for a second. And to me, the Niners panicked because they threw away their plan at 0-8 and brought in a quarterback who had played 2 games, gotten hurt in one of them, and was going to need a new contract at the end of the year. So, I mean, much riskier than Kirk Cousins, who at least you knew exactly what the hell he was. So to me, the Niners panicked mid-first season and scrapped plan A and went to plan B. And the fallout for that was, let's say they hadn't made that trade. They'd stuck to their guns and just finished the season 1-15 or 2-14. Well, they would have been in position to draft Josh Allen, who is right there as one of the best quarterbacks in the league. So again, year 1, they pass up Mahomes, Watson. Year 2, they pass up an opportunity to get Josh Allen, who they had to have known about. I mean, the whole league knew about Josh Allen. He's over here in Wyoming, not a secret.
Exactly.
So that's plan B. I mean, what do you think about that in retrospect? People don't really talk about how the Niners could have had Josh Allen.
Yeah, nobody does, actually. I think Josh Allen would have been a great draft pick. Would we be in the same place we are now? Maybe, maybe not. But I think he's going to be healthier. So I think we would have had a better season, certainly, last year. And that all affects the whole draft plan, of course, for the 49ers going into the future. But, of course, they gave up so many picks to get Trey Lance. So in the end, I feel like draft-wise, it set them back more.
Yes.
Franchise-wise, I am pretty excited about Trey Lance. I am. I really love his physicality. I really do. You compared him when we were talking to Allen himself, and I think that's a pretty fair comparison as far as the fact that he can throw on the move, he can roll out, and he can take hits. And more importantly, Trey Lance deals hits. I think he has to adjust that because, first off, in the NFL, they will target him. If he comes out in outside the hash or whatever, they're going to target him.
That's true.
If he decides to throw himself in the running back, and he will, he's going to have to learn how to get under hits. He's going to learn how to run out of bounds and not at the last second turn his shoulder back into some linebacker chasing him or something.
Yeah, like Sybilla keeps bringing this conversation back to Trey Lance, which is important. The purpose of this stroll down memory lane isn't to kick the Niners in the groin or show like some tragic ending. I think the ending is happy, which makes this story a comedy.
Poetic. It's destiny, perhaps you could say.
Yes, I think the ending is happy, which makes this story basically a comedy. A little bit of comedy of errors, but what happens is, in spite of themselves, they get to a happy ending. And it's just important to remember that it wasn't just Mahomes that they passed on. It wasn't just Deshaun Watson. It was Josh Allen, too. They were like 2 months away from getting that guy, and they were like, you know what? He's at Wyoming. You just don't know. Let's take a shot on this guy who's played 2 games for New England. And that's how Jimmy Garoppolo ended up here. He was never in the plans. It was supposed to be Kirk. And then it could have been Josh Allen, but it was Jimmy. And Jimmy comes here, and we know his story. He got hurt. He had a great season. He got hurt. And now the Niners are ready to move on. I mean, first of all, it cost them Tom Brady. That's the fallout of going with Jimmy Garoppolo. They never thought they'd have a chance to get Tom Brady. They did. And they actually said, no thanks, Tom Brady, and handed a Super Bowl to the Bucs.